Well, we weren't really getting on that well, to be honest.
No. I'd like to pretend that I was just tired, but honestly, you can both be quite difficult.
It was quite a lot of infighting, I seem to remember.
Litonk became much more agreeable after he decided to start spending money on everything.
Spending your money, I seem to remember.
It was almost worth it to see your face.
It was quite a change for him, though.
Indeed. I mean, I suppose I can't begrudge someone one taste of luxury, but I didn't expect him to take to it quite so well. At the Peacock's Feather we ended up in?
Oh, that was the place. Yes, I remember the barmaid looked really confused most of the time.
Ah, Anna, the Undine woman.
That's her.
She was very professional.
In the face of all of this. So she took your family's credit well enough?
Yes. Although, I have to say, considering she was still taking a 10% deposit, that place was extortionate.
I don't think we ever actually asked how much anything was, so much as threw money at the bar staff.
I asked if it would suffice, and she said yes. It's crass to quibble over such things.
You also didn't ask if that was horrendously overpaying.
Seems like a strange concern to have.
You rich.
Did you like the room, at least?
It had a bath. I had a bath in it. Although it was a bit odd that Litonk decided to sit and meditate by the fire with that decapitated dog's head on.
I'm not sure if you ever thanked me for taking that off, but I feel like you should have.
Didn't matter much in the end.
And the gall of him! Did you hear him getting uppity about being disturbed? Who orders food and then just sits as if to ignore it?
You don't disturb people when they're meditating, love.
You don't start meditating when there is a reason to be disturbed.
It's fine. He would have just come back to it cold.
And
it's probably still fancier than it had anything he'd had for a long time.
True, but it'd certainly be an ungrateful waste.
Still, we stuck into the veg, which was good, had a nice bath, washed ourselves off.
Speaking of getting things stuck in, I must say I was quite surprised by your hobby.
It's not so much a hobby as a side project, a small business, you know. Got to make up the funds. You're not the only one who threw down money on this hotel.
In fact, now I think about it, there was only one person who didn't.
Indeed, but you did seem quite happy to keep throwing money at him.
Happy and willing are different.
And then he went out for a jog with Doggo, who told you that there were some bad smells around town.
It told me nothing, it just looked at me like an idiot. I swear your dog only has one face.
Just because you don't understand doesn't mean to say he wasn't trying to tell you something.
Well, it certainly talked us into going to see rats, if not quite how we anticipated the day going.
Indeed. It was about that time we decided to go sewer diving, try and find the big rat. But before that, just a nice bit of kip.
Day comes far too soon for all of you, happily and warmly nuzzled up in your bed. You are all awakened by a sharp knock at the door.
Alright, enough is learned not to let Trees answer the door at this point. So she's going to be the first to it.
Okay. Opening the...
Sorry, Litonk has sort of cat reflex jumped onto his feet and gotten 2 darts, one in each hand, and is ready for anything.
Right.
She's just going to roll over towards, away from the noise, and now her butt is poking out of the covers.
Alright. There's some
Alright,
oddly
do I
shaped
see
covers.
this before I open the door?
Roll for me. Just roll a d20 for me.
Roll perception. Roll butt perception.
I don't want to roll butt perception.
You have to roll butt perception now.
Hang on, James, I don't know what...
Nope, you were so focused on answering the door.
I've got +1 to perception, is that going to save me?
No.
Oh wait, can I do a perception check?
I don't think you're going to see Trees' butt.
Sure.
Oh, I thought it was...
I sense the butts.
Plus, if enough
Are
is
you saying
gone...
you take the pan off at night?
God, I'd be so angry. Just a whole farce of leading you everywhere and narrating everything.
Willfully blind. We're the worst daredevil.
Do you want to roll for butt knowledge?
I didn't realise it was butt knowledge. I thought it was perceiving what's the other end of the door.
I just wanted to know whether I'd noticed
Is that what you want
her
to
ass
do?
was sticking out.
Yeah, I want to do...
You want to know who's coming? I want to know... Oh dear, I'm going to finish that sentence.
Actually, yeah, I will do a perception check on that. I'm going to try and... Whether I recognise the footsteps. Yeah, I'll do a perception check on that.
Yeah.
What's your bonus?
I don't know. What is perception? Wisdom?
Perception's wisdom, yeah.
+2.
Hey, we finally I did it wrong again!
You did.
That's a 69.
Nice!
That's some nice perception.
Although a D202 is quite impressive.
It was supposed to be D20 plus 2.
9.
Come down in the
Nice.
Okay. You hear heavy booted footfalls outside the door. You don't know who those are, but you do also hear the quiet shuffle of feet, which you've learned to associate with the barmaid.
She's not alone.
It's probably the watch that we asked
Yeah.
about recording.
Yeah, probably that.
Regardless, I say that to her enough that she's not alone.
Okay. Since Enough is unaware that somewhere behind her there is an ass hanging out the sheets, she's just going to open the door fully and step back as she does.
So, did you get dressed, get into bed, then get undressed again?
I slept
I
dressed.
got dressed to whittle, and then I got undressed to get into bed.
I see. Okay, fair enough.
I slept dressed because I'm kind of scrubby, but I did tell them to come and get me if there was a problem, so...
Okay. Enough, you pull the door open to find a large half-orc in banded mail, with a helmet in his left hand and a large axe on his back with a few smaller axes at his sides. He steps in without difficulty. The doorway was very tall enough for Trees to get in without difficulty, but does catch notice of Trees' ass just hanging out.
It's a blue moon.
Oh, for fuck's sake. How long have you been working on that?
Literally that second.
He gives a small cough.
So does Trees. You know,
All right.
a small trouser cough.
Anna informed me that you had requested my presence.
Ah, sir, thank you very much for coming to join us. One of my companions hasn't woke yet. Would you care to head to the bar? There are a few things I wish to discuss.
He kind of gives Trees a sideways glance again, looks over at Litonk, who's on his feet, and then gives a small nod and then leaves the room.
Litonk, are you coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Is this going to be, like, doing something or just sitting and talking?
I'm probably just gonna tell him about Lord Moore and ask what gives.
Yeah, I will come along.
Okay. Enough's going to let you go first, and she's just going to glance back in the room as she's closing the door, and slowly start to die
get enough.
inside as she follows you and the guard captain down the hallway.
As I hear the door click, I'm going to roll over for an early morning strum since no one's there.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna have you
You're
roll
like
for
playing
that.
with a handicap.
No, I'm very good at that. I have proficiency.
Well, I'm just gonna assume that you can take 20, so it's fine.
Well, I could. Simultaneously.
God damn it. All right, so
So we follow the guard captain?
Person.
The person.
So
The person with the axes.
Right. So we follow the Axeman down to the bar.
okay. He takes a seat for a second, but then sees that you guys have followed him after asking him to go to the bar, and then like kind of awkwardly stands again. Oh, all right. So,
please, sir, there's no need to stand on my account. And she's going to reach her hand forward to shake it. My name is Enough. I'm the guard captain of the House of Rose.
oh, I'm Reed. I'm the captain for, well, we used to be called Gaia, but just the Moors now, I guess.
Oddly enough, that's what I wished to discuss with you, sir. And
I'm Litonk, by the way.
she's just going to gesture to sit down.
He looks down at Litonk and, do you stick a hand out or anything?
No. It was kind of a interruption because Enough didn't really give me time to introduce myself.
All right.
I'm going to get everyone sat down and then, when you were within eye level.
He's gonna glance in your direction and say nothing. Enough, you see him nod and then awkwardly kind of look at you and try and parcel out if he can see or not. It's a look at this point you're now used to.
I mean, that's not the biggest goof either of us have had today, is it? The monk that's currently with me, I'm afraid he's unable to see, sir. It doesn't handicap him too terribly, however.
Oh.
And she's just going to pull the Tonka chair out so he can hear where it is.
I want to do a performance. Do I?
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do a performance. As she said, it doesn't handicap me too much. I get one of my darts and I throw it at an object behind the bar.
What do you have for performance?
I don't have charisma.
It's charisma.
And it's charisma. And I'm -1 on charisma.
Oh, excellent.
Since this is a physical performance, I'll let you use dexterity.
Oh,
excellent.
Nice. That's +3.
This would
11.
11, that's better than average.
Okay. You said something behind the bar. So
I don't know what's behind the bar.
You don't. So you just... I'm not sure what...
I just throw it behind the bar.
I like the idea that you land a perfect shot, but on the most expensive bottle that there is.
Alright, yeah. Litonk, go ahead and do high or low for me.
Low.
Okay. Yes, so... You
not low.
pick up a dart and with expert precision throw it to where you do perceive there is a bottle. Unfortunately, it is a crystal bottle that is filled with something like a nice golden amber color. The bottle shatters. The Undine barmaid kind of gasps, looks between you and the bottle, and she just kind of sighs and goes back behind the bar.
Not realising exactly what I've done, I took the gasp as sort of an amazement thing and do a little bow.
There's a distinct lack of applause.
Enough's just going to, glare at him red-eyed for a moment before running into the problem everyone else has seemed to have with that. My apologies, miss. I feel like my friend's getting a little too excited. Please do add it to the bill.
Could you bring me that dart back as well?
You don't hear a response, but Litonk, you can just barely hear the quiet, soft grumble.
Enough's just gonna let out this small, and just head in hands at table with her ears pinned back.
So Reed looks between the two of you and goes, okay, well, this was fascinating.
I cannot apologise enough for my companion here. He is useful in combat, not so much in social graces. The reason I summoned you is there appears to be somewhat of a disparity between the note that was sent to my house, and she puts it on the table for him to read, and what I encountered upon arriving here when I met the man professing himself to be Lord Moore. And relaying this to the young lady at the bar was met with quite some confusion as well. And then I'm just going to tell him about the Lord, the creepy castle, the creatures of the night, the rat in the sewers, but I'm not going to mention the, portals to other worlds, because I feel like he's had enough before breakfast.
All right.
Oh, phrasing, why?
You chose this name. You don't get to be like, oh man, this name's really inconvenient.
I think I do, but only as my comeuppance.
Well, you can't complain about it.
Well, once your appence is done, it'll probably be trees.
So Reed scoops up the note and kind of reads it over. Why don't you make another perception roll for me?
17.
He gives a small, smirk, kind of like he recognizes this. So he's still up to this, huh? Were you able to help at least?
She's gonna sort of look quite annoyed, but yes, sir. There was a goblin living well beneath the catacombs. It is a disgrace down there. The place is rampant with the bodies of dead adventurers, disinterred nobles, and general filth. It will be needing some sort of clean-up crew sending. I'm afraid that I don't have strength of my own to assist with that, but I trust this is of interest to you. My assumption was that the creature living at the bottom there was what was causing the creature's possession, so hopefully he will desist. What can you tell me about these letters?
Only that they've been going out for, I'd say, the last few months. Most of the townsfolk weren't aware that anybody had still been at that estate. Is the Lord doing okay?
I'm afraid I cannot tell you for certain if that is indeed the true Lord of the manor. He certainly seems familiar with it and its history, but so could any imposter. I would suggest being quite gentle with the man.
Does he seem like he's been touched by madness?
Struck firmly, sir.
Yeah, that's him.
Well, he seems perfectly fine then.
Well, that's good at least.
We killed the goblin thing. We got his brother's chest and ashes. So hopefully it's the end of any more letters being sent out. We've got a more pressing matter, which is there was a creature which we believe escaped the catacombs and is now in the sewers. Do you know anything of that?
Well, I heard about it last night. One of the citizens in town, they reported seeing a large rat running around, but we couldn't find it. The citizen didn't seem all that upset or anything, so right now we're just having an eye out for it.
If it would not encroach upon your territory, sir, in order to see a job completed thoroughly, we were going to go and hunt this animal down to make sure it posed no danger. Would that be acceptable to yourself?
Well, I've had my men looking out for it all night. They couldn't find it. If you'd like to keep doing so, you're more than welcome, but I had already put out I contacted my cousin, or cousin of sorts. He's to be in town today to assist as well.
The third of our number has the gift of speaking to animals. She's not been able to share much with us, given that the creatures are quite dim, but we adopted a dog from the estate, and it seemed very nervous about this creature. It's not simply enlarged. It's possessed of evil somehow, and it smelt it at several points through the town. We were planning on heading to the sewers immediately after breakfast to hunt it down, but if you prefer, we can wait.
Reed furrows his brow and frowns. That's distressing. I won't say you're wrong, but I'm hoping that you are. Doesn't sound like anything nefarious has happened thus far, and I'd prefer it stay that way. You can do as you like. Thomas will be here shortly, and I have full faith in his abilities. But it'd be just as good as if you could take care of it before he even gets here.
I shall do my best, sir. Was there anything else you needed from us?
You summoned me.
Indeed, but to give you somewhat distressing news, it would be unprofessional of me to not follow up on that.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Around the Moore estate, there seemed to be quite a lot of decay. Do you know anything about that?
I know that a few years ago, the trees, the life in the area just started to get worse. Fishing dried up. The lumber around the town is no good. This used to be a big port of trade and industry, but not so much anymore.
Is there anything specific that happened?
He's gonna pause and think. I'd say, well, if I'm being honest, it hasn't really, the land really hasn't been run well since the last official lord and lady of the house died. I mean, their death, I couldn't say that their death is what caused all the animals to go away or the trees to start dying, but...
Well, I may have some slightly good news for you regarding this then, sir. His lordship, being the last of his line, has agreed to allow the Roses to take over stewardship of the estate on his passing, so perhaps we might be able to sponsor some sort of recovery for your town. She's gonna tilt her head.
Which brother is it that you spoke with?
The living one? What's his name?
It was William.
William, sir.
Well, that does sound like him too. I suppose if he's agreed to that, then I'll have somebody from your house to look forward to working with.
Yes, it will be a deputy of mine. If you would wish to take the time to travel and visit, you may choose your preferred one.
Not to speak out of turn, the mayor doesn't do much. The city estate mostly falls to me to maintain. I can't really afford to leave this place. But I'll make do with whoever you choose to see fit to establish here.
Someone that can handle your mare, by the sounds of it. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate that you're a busy man.
Well, not so busy now, but hopefully that changes.
And she's gonna reach out a hand to shake.
He will shake your hand.
Litonk, do you care for breakfast?
Are you still paying?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You're a monster! I'd like to imagine you've got a really bad tummy by now.
Litonk is going to jump up, so he's sort of standing on the chair, and then shout out, "The most expensive breakfast, please." And then head back to the room.
Enough's, just gonna flick her ears down, why is this happening to me? And as she's walking past the barmaid, just put 10 down. Some oats or something simple for me and my friend. Please make sure that they're just water. And she's just gonna head up, just dragging her tail.
Okay.
Trees is in the bath again at this point.
Get a bit of a sweat on, did you, love?
Natch?
Do I want to ask what you were doing while we were downstairs?
Do you want to ask what I was doing while you were downstairs?
I mean, if it's something wholesome involving teaching your dogs tricks, then I would love to know.
Well, it certainly involved a hole.
Not asking them.
Litonk's going to walk next to the fire and pick up the severed dog's head and reattach that to his pot.
Okay, it's not going to go very easily this time because the blood is dried.
Ah, shit. Why did you take it off?
That thing is starting to smell, and I see no merit in you keeping it.
Litonk's going to throw it on the fire
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Smells pretty bad.
Doggo agrees and is covering his nose with his paw.
Trees, I took the liberty of ordering breakfast for you. I assume boiled oats will be fine.
Sounds lovely, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell her what we did with the guard captain.
So, to clarify, did you also pay for most expensive breakfast?
I feel like, would 10 gold have covered the oats and most expensive breakfast on a 10% deposit basis?
Yeah. So, after not too long, another soft knock comes at the door.
Litonk will answer this. So
Okay.
yeah, it walks up and jumps up to get to the handle, and then opens the door.
You are 3 foot tall. You don't have to jump to get to the handle.
Yeah.
It's about nose height, I guess.
You hear the rattle of a cart and the Undine woman again. At this point, you're quite used to the sound of her footfalls and just the sound of her breath as well. And you can hear her confused and then swallow like a gasp when she realizes where you are.
Wait, what?
I imagine she just sort of does the comedy looks forward, looks down.
Yes.
Oh, right. Right. Okay.
Your food, sir?
Thank you. Wait. Ah, fuck it. Bring it in.
Okay.
Goodness, you're such a charmer, aren't you? Thank you, love. Very much appreciated.
Enough's just going to look like a puddle of sorry at this point.
She pushes the cart in and just gives a confused look. She also catches smell of the burning dog's head and does her best not to cover her face.
No, covering your face is the right thing to do here. That is proper gross.
Well, with no other order, she's gonna give like a curtsy and then rush out of the room.
Thank you.
Care if I join you by the window, dear?
Sure, it's a nice day.
It is now, you've made it a thing.
Yep, it's a nice day
Yay.
now.
It's a canon nice day.
Yay. Good job.
So, I guess we had breakfast and head out.
Yeah? You going to bring the big weird stuff, or are you leaving it in the room? We could drop it off at the ApothoMerry for a look-see.
That's a good point. We should probably pop by and see little Mary.
Okay. Do we put Dog on a harness, or do we not need it if you're about?
If I'm about, I think Doggo will be fine.
Okay.
Expensive breakfast, for the record, was some more of those eggs on top of a like a waffle with lots
it
and
should have
lots
been
of.
like Eggs Woodhouse. Eggs Woodhouse is the best.
Is that Eggs Woodhouse from Archer?
Yes! Yep. I made a cheaper version of it once because I'm not actually, like, entirely money, so... But yeah, it's actually really good.
Oh man, this would be good. Did you have caviar for this?
Yeah, you can buy it, like, in a little jar for, like, £3. I don't think it's good stuff, but it's pretty good if you're not used to it.
Huh. Interesting.
Are you just gonna, like, read out what Eggs Woodhouse is now, or are we not having that?
Do you want me to?
What do you want for breakfast, James? Eggs and stuff, or eggs and stuff, but different?
What? I'm vegan.
You had no point of mentioning
Wait,
that. You had a steak last night.
I didn't.
You totally did.
I don't think Litonk's vegan, love.
Oh, no, Litonk isn't.
No,
Litonk
I
will
wasn't
eat
asking
anything.
you what you wanted for breakfast. You're having freaking cereal and you're getting it yourself. Well, toast, I'm not the boss of you, but the point is...
Litonk wouldn't care. And I don't care what Litonk eats.
It's Eggs Woodhouse now.
Okay.
Thank you. Move on.
There's the fancy breakfast.
Okay, so... ApothoMerry with Big Goblin Stick?
Yes. So, bringing it back, all the way back to your origin roots, the three of you travel to the ApothoMerry, which is just as dark and dingy as it was when you originally visited.
Weird, it feels like it's been weeks since we were last here.
We're all going to sandbag that then. Okay.
That's fine.
What am I going to do? Be a little shit and say, no, it was just yesterday.
What's wrong with you?
Someone's perception of time is really slow.
I know, right?
Yeah. Stepping inside, you find it a little cleaner than when you had first arrived, Trees, but it's pretty much more or less how it was when you first arrived enough before you absentmindedly barricaded Mary in a large nest of books.
Is there like a bell on the counter I can walk up to and ring, or can I see Mary?
You cannot see Mary.
Mary, love you about?
Oh, yes. Hello.
And I was just wondering if you could have a look at this staff we've got.
Yep. Just one second. You see little fingers kind of grab onto the edge of the counter at the far end of the bookstore.
Oh.
The three of you approach as Mary kind of pulls himself up on top of the counter and just kind of rolls onto his back like it was a lot of effort. I need a second. Oh,
Take your time.
that was the hardest way to go. I could have just walked around. I don't know why I did this one. You needed me to look at something?
I'm gonna show him the staff. Just lay it on the counter.
If he goes to put his hands on it, I'm just going to stop him. Perhaps don't touch it directly, sir. It was found in the possession of a rather off-putting goblin and several undead.
Oh. Mary sits up, puts on a pair of leather gloves, and carefully picks up the staff. Yes. A goblin, you said?
Indeed.
That's right.
Probably a shaman. Undead?
There was some undead, yeah.
Did you see...
dog. The dog that's with us has been under his influence, but appears fine now, if you can glean anything from the beast.
Mary looks down at the dog from the counter. The dog looking up at him rather expectantly. He clicks his tongue and the dog kind of gets up, puts his paws on the counter and looks up at him. And Mary pats the doggo on the head. Well, this is a good dog.
He seems like a good dog.
Pats him gently on the head and pushes him slightly so the dog, gets back down off the counter. And he returns his focus to the staff. It's a little crude, as most goblin devices are. This is definitely a shaman's staff. Did you find any kind of shrine or anything nearby?
There was like a big pile of skulls.
Yeah, that. Did you destroy it?
Let's say that we hadn't. What would that mean, generally speaking?
Well, it could be nothing. Or, worst case, it was a finished shrine, which would mean maybe more restless spirits.
Lovely. Right, I guess we have to go for no reason. Any idea just best way to just smash shrine, or would there be some incantation or other?
Well, they're delicate. Just disturbing them even a little bit should be enough. Smashing it, probably the best way to make sure that it's not doing anything. Goblin magic isn't very strong, but it's pretty easy to make. So
I think we can probably work around that. So, I think we might need to head back. See that more fella again.
I feel like we ought to notify Captain Reed. Mary, good sir? The staff, is it safe to touch? Does it need to be destroyed? Or would it be useful?
Oh, he takes his gloves off. Yeah, we can touch this. It's not really a big deal. I mean, it's more or less a crude magical item. You can use it to channel spells. He kind of gives it a once-over and studies it. There seems to be some charge left in here, although I don't read Goblin, so I don't know what these runes are or what they would do.
The only thing we saw the creature use it for was to cast magic missile and attempt possession or some sort of enchantment.
Well, then, safe bet is one of those two. Was it a particularly troublesome goblin?
No, we dealt with it pretty quickly.
Then I'd wager that it's probably for magic missile. It's a more sophisticated use of magic that's not terribly common among goblins.
I suppose that makes sense. Right. Well, thanks for everything, Mary, and I'll pop a gold on the counter for him.
He scoops it up happily.
So, do you wanna wander around town, see if we can find anything, or maybe see about that whole pile of bones thing?
I'm also going to put a gold piece on the counter and just a thank you, and suggest we inform the captain that if he needs us, we'll be at the manor, explaining that our job wasn't actually finished.
If I just write a note to give to the first member of the town guard I see, quickly explaining about the shrine and everything.
Yeah.
Just little pat on the bum and...
I'm concerned that every minute that we wait in here is another minute that Shrine might be doing something.
And I'm very glad that Trees took the paint. That could have gotten out of hand. Just one madman and a shrine spewing things into God knows what.
All
Are there stables in this town? Would I have seen them when I went for a jog?
Yeah, there are stables.
Okay. Are there likely to be horses big enough to hold Trees?
Oh. That will be a roll of the dice.
If only we had some way of doing that.
A literal roll of the dice. Let's see. Wait. Yeah. Trees high or low?
Low.
Okay. So I just take it you're gonna go over to the stables?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, making your way to the stables, you find them closer to the entrance gate of the town where you first came in. They're well stocked, lots of horses in. A half elf, kind of stable boy, just milling around out front, baling some hay. He looks at three of you over as you approach. You got some horses here?
Do you perchance rent beasts out?
Yeah, sure, I could do that.
One moment. Are you...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I feel like you can't ride a horse.
I don't think Litonk could ride a horse. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll happily just hug someone else.
How much does Litonk weigh?
38 pounds.
38 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, probably close to like 48 pounds after last night, but whatever.
Let me see. So your size small?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then you could ride on a dog.
Right, that's what we're doing then.
Oh,
We're not riding my doggo.
Why are we not riding the doggo?
A sense of respect.
You know it tried to kill us before, yeah?
Yeah, and now it stopped doing that.
Yeah, and it can do us a favour by helping us stop other people getting killed.
I'm gonna bonk the tonk on the pan with my staff. No.
The tonk is just gonna start running towards the manor.
excellent. We'll catch him on the way past. Stable hand, please could you tell me if you would be able to provide a horse for myself and my companion here?
Oh. He he looks Trees up and down. Yeah, wow. I think so.
Yeah, that's right. Get an eyeful.
There's not a nice way for me to ask this question. How much do you weigh?
Somewhere in the region of 357 pounds.
Okay. So, I do have a horse that could carry you. Shh.
Are you sure it's actually a horse? And not like a fucking bear? And a big one at that?
We should have asked for a cart. Why didn't I ask for a...
Yeah, like a horse and cart probably would have got everyone there.
Right, can I retcon my request and just be like, can we have a cart to share?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
Excellent. Will I be seeing the stable master for payment?
I can take it.
Very well. How much?
How long are you gonna have the horse and cart?
What's your day rate?
It'd be 15 for the both.
Just gonna give him it.
Okay. He will scoop the coin up and then go and set up the horse and cart for the two of you. Litonk, roll me a perception roll. Wow.
Crit 22.
Okay. So you've got just photographic level memory of this town. And you are weaving. You know exactly where you are and where you need to go. You make it all the way outside of the town before Trees and enough catch up to you on the cart.
Hey, Litonk, you want a left?
Okay, so he stops for a second and then sort of reevaluates, hearing the horse and cart and Trees, and then sort of obviously out of breath, sort of clambers onto the cart.
What was that about?
What was what about?
Started running when you weren't allowed to ride the dog?
We need to get to the manor as quick as possible, and instead of standing around, I decided to run, and I was annoyed that someone, bonked me on the head.
Trees, do you care to apologise?
You're not riding my doggo, got it?
No. Needs must.
Needs must not ride my fucking doggo.
If needs must that I kill the doggo, I'm going to kill the dog. The dog is a fucking dog. The manor, at the moment, is threatening the town with all the innocent people in it. We need to get there and sort that out.
Trees is gonna square up to Litonk, but this is not going to be particularly clear. Alright, let's go up the manor.
Okay.
Litonk, we were at a stable. For someone who claims to centre their mind, I feel like you acted quite rashly.
Probably because you disturbed him last night.
Don't make this me. And to be fair, I did apologise. And she's just going to sort of dead-eye you for that.
Ooh.
This carriage seems to be getting very small.
Shall we?
There was no need to strike him. Apologise.
I tapped him on the pan. Shall we go?
I thought the horses were
I
going.
thought this was in a...
Yeah, I thought this was what we did on the way. We just bickered the whole way there like a grumpy family.
Maybe it's just this road.
Yeah, it's just not a good road. We just fight here.
So we get to the manor?
Yeah, we just get to the manor in awkward, grumpy silence.
Nick?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I'm waiting for you guys to just...
When I ask a question, assume it's to you and not to some unseen force.
We're at the manor.
Are we at the manor? Like,
Yeah,
this
see
is
if
your
you-
job.
yeah.
We're not doing it for you.
Okay. So, the trip is actually quite quick with the horse and cart. The majority of the distance comes from the steepness of the hill and the winding path. It's really not that far. And you reach the gates of the, as enough repeatedly does, quote-unquote castle in a mere, let's say, 20 minutes.
Well, look where we are again. I'm gonna knock on the castle doors.
I'm just going to turn 180 degrees before he does it.
Oh, yeah.
This
Yeah,
time the door is
gotcha.
open.
That old chestnut.
Ah, my friends.
We need to go back down.
Good morning, my lord.
Litonk is
Uh-huh.
going to run past him to the door. He's basically just going to make a beeline to the door down
Oh,
to
okay.
the catacombs. If presumably remembers where it was.
Make another perception roll for me.
21.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, you remember very well, and make your way over to the door, right past William. Uh, the paned one is in a hurry.
He's very keen to help you out a little bit more. We've had some. We talked to a friend in town who's basically given us some intel, suggesting that perhaps there was more we should have done while we were down there, and we'd like to help you out a little bit more.
Oh, well, I would be delighted. Now, do you know how long you will be?
You've got an important dinner party going on?
Well, no, but you may be here when my brother arrives.
Oh, your brother? Which brother?
You handed me his urn yesterday.
Well, then he was already here. Are you summoning him from the dead, friend, no?
No. My large treed? Treed?
It's trees, love.
Trees. One does not summon from the realm of the dead. He must swim back through the waters of life.
Charming. So, we've, yeah, well, we might get to say hello then.
Well, I do hope so. He would be delighted to meet all of you.
I've no doubt, love.
Well, thank you very much for your hospitality, sir. Terribly sorry to intrude on you like this, but it appears that goblin may have left a shrine which will be causing trouble, so time is perhaps of the essence, if we may?
Oh, but of course, that is distressing. I do hope you find it easily. Please do come find me if I may be of assistance.
Much
No
obliged,
problem
sir.
at all.
And then we just, buck it down the cellar after action pan there?
All right.
Well, I was gonna sort of take a wander, and as soon as we were out of earshot, just turn to Enough and be like, I'm a little bit concerned about the whole brother coming back thing.
Oh, yes, the necromancy is, at the very least, concerning. I am, however, going to sort the problem at hand first before dealing with that.
Sure.
Can we see his ashes anywhere? Like, is he just left them on a shelf in the meantime?
No, there's also no shelves here.
Oh.
But there's probably a chair nailed to a wall somewhere, so we might use that. I don't
Shame
know.
on me for assuming.
I like that. There is a chair nailed to the wall. But not in the way that you'd expect. Its legs are nailed to the wall.
It's wonderful.
All right. So yeah, making your way down into the catacombs. Now that you've got an idea of the layout, it's very easy for you to rush through. It is still quite dark, so you do try not to fall down the stairs into the catacombs. But yeah, as soon as you...
Oh yeah, I can see fine. Tracy's going to have a few issues, isn't she?
I'll light a torch.
As soon as you step foot in the catacombs, you see just a swarm of rabid undead rats.
Litonk?
Yeah, how separated is the party here?
I'll say that you stopped because
Okay.
you could hear them
Yeah.
before they would have the chance to see and attack you.
Okay. I'm just going to, drag him out by the panhandle and shut the door.
Well, that's just bloody marvellous, isn't it?
Lord Moore?
Yes.
Terribly sorry. It appears that your cellar is overrun, and I need to send a message to the town immediately.
You need a message sent to the town?
Yes, is there any chance that you're capable of any such spell?
I could send a missive, yes.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Would you be able to contact Captain Reed of the Guard?
Oh, is he captain now? How marvelous. Yes, what can I tell my good friend?
Please tell him, with regards to my message from the apothecary, it's worse than we thought. Please bring as many men as possible immediately.
Well, that sounds very alarming. I will let him know post haste. He begins to whisper into his hand.
What are we going to do about the rats?
Kill our way through them, I guess.
Do we need an army for that?
What part of writhing sea of rodents?
Well, like, who's going to go first?
I'm up for it.
Are we just going to send the entire guard down there and then just walk over their corpses?
No, that'd be pretty wimpy. I feel like we need the backup.
Yeah, I don't think a fight on a narrow stairwell against a swarm of rats is going to be very effective.
Well, magic users can clear the stairs, and then when we're on the floor proper...
When you say magic users, do you mean people besides you?
I can use magic.
Well, I imagine that there'll be at least one magic user on the town guard.
You may be assuming a lot.
Okay. Right, well...
I'm not going to spoil that for you, but you may be assuming a lot.
Well, I figure explosives, burning oil, something horrible. We figure something out that isn't just punching our way through them.
Lord Moore, do you ever need, like, kegs of alcohol?
This isn't really time for a drink.
Kegs of ale?
Yeah. Sorry, I went a bit scientific there,
Ale's
didn't
not flammable, is it?
I? Isn't it?
It's too watery, love.
Ah,
Need spirits.
I don't know,
spirits.
there's necromancy going on. There might be a few spirits kicking around.
Okay, let's say, Lord Moore, there's a swarm of rats down those stairs. Is there anything you can think of that would help us clear the rats?
Well, I suppose I could.
Well, that'd be lovely.
To be clear, sir, many and dangerous.
Many and dangerous.
Lamp oil, perhaps? I doubt it would damage the stonework too badly.
Oh, yes. The stones I'm not too worried about, but... Oh, the people.
People? Who's down there?
Well, my family.
Ah, yes, of course. Sorry.
Lamp oil. Yes, I believe I have a decanter somewhere near here. He goes off, he just kind of wanders off, wanders around a corner. Litonk, you stop hearing him as soon as he, like, wanders through the corner.
Okay.
He comes back up from behind you guys, equally silently. It's not quite a decanter, but this bottle does hold a good amount of the lighted oil. And this, he kind of gestures with his hand, and a small glowing bead appears. This should serve nicely for the purposes, if I am understanding your plan correctly.
Oh, thank you kindly, your lordliness.
So do we wait for the guards, or are you insisting that we go and wade into a sea of rats? I would like to wait.
Sea of rats.
No pressure, James, but it's entirely on you.
Let's see how effective this oil is, or whatever. This ball of mysterious thing at clearing the rats, because, it might just clear all of them. And then we'll look like silly billies when the guard come and we're like, oh, there's no rats anymore.
That was an ambiguous statement. Are you saying to wait so that the guard don't think they were summoned unnecessarily? Or...
No, he's saying sea of rats.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying say rats.
Sea of rats. Sea of rats.
All right. So, what exactly are you going to do with the bottle and the bead?
Oh, I thought Lord Moore was going to do something with the bottle and the bead.
Oh, do you want him to? He gave them to you, but...
Lord Moss said
He was going to help.
He said he had a plan.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh yeah, I can clear that." And
I've
we
got
were
a
like,
plan. There you go.
Okay. All right. So he's
I'm
going to
not
take
saying
them...
that isn't something
He's
going to
take them back then. Yeah. He was under the assumption that that's what you needed him to do, but realizing quickly that that's not... that you don't understand what he's doing with them, he's going to lead you, the three of you, down to the cellar. Place the bead into the bottle, and then quickly open the door and toss the bottle in. He does pick up a rat, though, and then quickly shut the door after it. Curious. It is indeed a spirited animal.
Does
He
it
kind of
look Does it look undead or?
It doesn't.
in any way?
It doesn't look undead, but its eyes are glowing red.
That's not natural.
No.
It could be an
No.
albino, you don't know.
It's
Glowing? Yeah,
in-
there's red, and then there's glowing red.
it's entirely grey of fur.
Hey, Ratto!
Eat.
I mean, I've just had breakfast, but maybe later. You hungry, are you?
Yes.
So have you got some kind of boss or something down there? Okay. I think we're gonna have to play Whack-A-Rat.
He's nodding thoughtfully. It is of the devouring obsession, is it not?
It seems, yeah, in the mood for a snack.
He kind of like tries to pet it on its head, but it snaps at his fingers and he frowns. I would feel badly about releasing this into the wild.
Trees,
Yeah?
could you, perhaps if this creature is possessed, override that?
I could certainly give that a try, I suppose. Okay, I'm gonna cast Beast Bond. Yeah.
Okay. That means I have to roll for the rat, don't I?
Telepathic link with the beast. Okay.
You're gonna have to calm it down because it's not happy with you.
Yeah. So wisdom save.
All right, so it failed.
Yay.
The rat starts to like slow its little paws and gnashes of its tiny teeth. William kind of scratching it gently between its ears. It kind of eventually goes docile, but doesn't lose the red glow to its eye.
Hey, Ratto. What's going on down here?
Just living, and then got hungry, and then got really hungry.
Did something happen when you got hungry?
Went looking for food.
Did something... Did someone else come? Another rat? A big rat, maybe?
Saw a big rat.
You saw a big rat?
Mm-hmm. One big
Like,
rat.
A very big rat?
Yeah, very big rat.
Do you know whereabouts the very big rat is?
Big rat in there.
Do you think you could convince the other rats to let us go and see the big rat?
No.
They're all very hungry, right?
Very hungry.
Yeah.
I'm still hungry.
I will offer the rat a portion of my ration.
It'll take a square of dried bread and kind of munch on it thoughtfully.
Right, there is a big rat down there, but this rattle friend doesn't think that we're going to be able to get to it without dealing with the rats. Have you got anything in the flamey variety?
Well, of course. Oh, did you?
Apart from the one we just threw down there.
Well, I should hope that was more than enough.
Okay, well, should we have a check then?
Why, certainly. He opens the door. The entirety of the inside of the catacombs is like scorched black.
That's impressive. Okay, little rattle friends, could you maybe show us where the big rat is?
Do you want me to place him down?
You could just hold him.
Just hold him, and I think he'll give us directions. If you think you can do that for us, little ratty.
Yeah, I can do that. William pets the rat. I will name him Benjamin.
Nice. Right. Should we head off then?
I'm trying to find the pun in Ben the Rat.
Why would there be a pun?
I think Jen's just made me unable to trust. Yeah.
So
All right. William takes the rat and kind of holds it in both hands and points it out in front of him, like kind of like a flashlight.
A divining rat.
Yeah. And Benjamin, to his credit, does kind of figure out what he's doing and just guides him along through the catacombs. You don't really need him to do this. He's leading you back to the shrine, which you guys know where it is.
Okay.
But I mean, nothing's stopping you from just following him like this.
I'm going to bash the shrine with my staff.
All right.
If there's nothing impeding us.
There is not. You are led all the
Hurrah.
way back to the shrine very easily. It is giving off a faint magical energy, which dissipates as soon as you just hit it once. There's still skulls and whatever arranged in like kind of a circle, but you definitely feel the magical essence fade from it.
I want to break the circle of skulls.
Okay,
Just kick one or two of them.
done.
Nice.
Well,
What would I have to roll to sense Big Rat if it was about?
I mean, the only thing that you could do is perception, unless you wanted to like cast a spell or use an ability that I am not aware of.
So, do you know where Big Rat is from here?
Big Rat was here. It's gone now.
I'm starting to wonder if they, by Big Rat, didn't mean that goblin. But maybe.
Is the body of the goblin still here?
Yes, it is thoroughly chewed.
Is that Big Rat?
Is that Big Rat?
No, that's food, or was food. Just icky now.
Well, thank you, Benjamin. This has been most helpful. I think we should probably head back and deal with the whole what we were supposed to be doing this morning before we realised we'd mightily fucked up.
That was a 13 on the perception, if that gets us anything.
You hear some larger scurries and scrapes nearby.
Trees, your dog's probably got better senses than me, but I think I hear something bigger.
Have we have a doggo? Hey, doggo. I'll give him a scritch behind the ears.
Hi, big dog.
Hey, doggo. Any idea just sensing anything down here?
He pauses.
Or just rats? Or...
He pauses. One of his little floppy ears goes up, and you see him sniff. It smells bad.
Evil bad?
Evil bad.
Can you lead us to the evil bad?
It's near. And he points. Well, he kind of points his nose.
Does the nose thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a direction. You see a small, like, indent in the wall that's slowly growing larger.
Ooh.
Oh, I relay this to Litonk. I was really hoping you'd go, oh, Tom.
What do?
Right, so we're just going to stare at this hole until the DM does something about it, I guess.
All right, yeah, well, no, then none of you are doing anything, so the hole is just going to burst open, and 3 large, like, small, Litonk-sized rats barrel out of the hole that has been pushed into from the wall.
Wonderful.
Trees and Enough make a reflex savings throw for me.
Reflex isn't on my sheet, dear.
Oh, of course it's not.
Do you want dexterity or acrobatics? It's the same. Well.
Yeah, acrobatics or athletics?
Athletics.
6.
22.
All right.
What'd you do, throw me in front of you?
How would you describe Trees and Enough's relationship right now? Is it hostile?
I mean, I've just spent like the 20 minutes up the hill telling her to be nicer.
Are they friendly or like not friendly? Is that something that she would do?
I'm much more well inclined towards than I am towards Litonk right now.
I bought her
Okay.
dinner and everything.
All right. So, Trees, you pull back quickly, seeing you don't see Enough reacting fast enough in your mind, so you kind of grab her by the collar when she was already planning on heading back, which startles her into not moving. So she's going to take the brunt of the wall burst.
It's my fault she's thrown badly now.
Yeah.
There was good intention. You were trying to help.
Bad execution.
Yes.
I'm very good at executions, I assure you.
Well, that's sinister.
Enough, you are going to get hit in the face with some of the debris, and you're going to take, 6 damage.
Ouch.
The 3 rats square up to the 4 of you.
Okay.
Is this roll for initiative?
Yes.
I've got 14.
23 crit.
Nice.
12.
Why are you-
crit on initiative?
Why are you getting such good rolls? That's 2 crits and a 19.
Okay. So, all 4 of you are going to get the jump on these rats somehow, despite enough getting blasted in the face.
Are you just asking for it at this point?
What?
She got blasted in the face.
Oh.
You are too pure for this, well.
It's just such a little cinnamon roll. It's just.
I've never once been in my life been described that way, but
I've described you like that several times, and every time you just.
before
No,
you,
No!
I'm not though. Anyway,
You a badass.
no.
Totes badass.
Litonk, you and your critical dexterity initiative get to go first.
Okay.
Good talk.
I take no action. I just watch.
Real good use of that initiative, huh? I react immediately. What'd you do? Fuck all.
I immediately stand completely still, fucking nothing.
I am immediately the least useful member of this team.
So, okay, what are you delaying for? Like,
I'd just love this to be because you really want an apology about the pan thing. I will die before I will let you this go unanswered.
Part of that, yeah. Litonk doesn't see much purpose in engaging.
You mean besides the
And
fact
beyond engaging, Litonk doesn't really do much.
you could get eaten by rats and you're going to deserve it?
okay. Litonk, you are conscious of the fact that you have the absolute jump on everything and everyone. You could easily run over and punch somebody, but you don't. It's Enough's turn.
Sorry, I'm writing.
Are you writing about how Litonk did nothing?
On this day, Litonk is enraging everyone.
I'm making a note of how much trouble he's in later. Are the rats within a range of 10?
Feet, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use a poison spray cantrip. It's 1d12 poison damage, and they can take a constitution save for half.
Okay.
Spell save DC is 13. Is that what they're against? Yeah.
Yeah. And are you hitting all three?
Um,
They are in a semicircle, so if it's like a cloud.
Yeah, it's like a puff of noxious gas.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. They all rolled under 5. Collectively, they all rolled under 10.
Wow. They are each going to take 4 damage.
Nice. So enough you cause a little spray of green poison mist to come forth. The rats all kind of give pause as they wait for the mist to hit them, and then kind of twitch and shriek as the mist hits them. This brings us to Tree's turn.
I'm gonna use my bonus action and cast Shillelagh. And then I'm gonna roll to attack the nearest rat. 22.
Nice. So summoning your magical shillelagh again, you rear up and bring the club down on one of the rats that's kind of still twitching and trying to regain its focus. You strike it squarely in the head,
7.
causing it to keel over and just roll up into a little ball. Now it's William's turn. He's gonna stand directly by Litonk. Is your friend okay?
Is he talking to Litonk or the other two?
He's talking to the other two about you.
That is a question that will probably confuse philosophers for centuries.
His behaviour is hard to predict. I shouldn't mind him, sir.
He places a hand gently on the pan, and he says, "My son, I wish you well, and I hope that you are okay." He pauses like heavily on that last one, as if he's trying to search for the right word. He's going to point his left hand, the one that's not resting on your head, at a rat, and fire off a barrage of magic missiles. And 3 of them are going to strike true and cause the rat to also fly backwards and curl up, which leaves that rat, the last one, to gnash its teeth. And let's see. Everybody pick a number between 1 and 4.
3. Ooh. 2.
4.
All right. Who picked 2?
James did, and he deserves whatever happens to him.
Sensing the only stationary meaty object, the large rat is going to rush at Litonk, and wow, not even come close to biting him. Something about
you have to remember there is AC plus pan.
Yeah. Something about looking at the towering, now doubled structure of Litonk with William behind intimidates the rat into not biting at him. It hisses instead.
I like the idea of it just like thump into the pan and just sliding down it.
And just going, thong.
Yeah.
Litonk, it's your turn.
Like dents in the pan.
What does animal handling do?
Animal handling is for handling animals, but they have to be at least neutral to you.
Like riding horses and stuff.
Or dogs?
Don't make me do it.
I suppose I'll just stay here.
Right. Next.
Okay, so then it's Enough's turn.
Well, I can't use poison spray again without hitting his pan hood. If I can use firebolt for 1d10?
Yeah.
5.
Nice. That causes the rat to char up nicely, but it is still on its feet. And now it is Tree's turn.
I will throw my staff up between my fingers, and so that I've got like the very bottom of it, and bring the top down squarely on the last rat, and 18.
Okay, you killed it. And with that, combat ends.
Good job, guys.
Yay!
Is that the big
We did the
rat
thing.
dead? Because there were 3 of them, not one big rat.
Were there 3 ample rats, or...
They're Litonk size. They're the biggest rats you've seen so far.
I'm starting to let go of what might be a reasonable thing for a rat to do.
Hey, rat friend. Are there any bigger rats than those ones?
I didn't see bigger rats. They're pretty big.
Yeah, pretty big. Do you know if there's any more than those 3?
Well, yeah, there's lots of rats, but not more big rats.
That'll pretty much do for us. Thanks.
He continues to
Well.
squiggle in William's hands.
I need to start bringing treats.
Right. Never know what friends you're going to meet out here.
Has the guards turned up yet?
No, they still not have yet.
So we're confident that we're out of big rats?
I'm not. It was always explained to us as singular, and it seems bizarre that there were 3 big rats instead of just 1 big rat. I don't know. I thought the 1 big rat was the one that was causing loads of awfulness.
Hey, Doggo, do you smell any more, like, bad evil?
No.
Listen, Doggo says it's clear, and I'm inclined to believe his nose.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your help, your lordship. Could you perhaps send another missive to Captain Reed? That we managed to get the problem in hand, but if people are at least partway here anyway, that maybe they could go through this place a little more thoroughly to make sure there are no more evil rats or shrines?
Well, happily. He turns to his left and whispers into his hand again, still clutching Benjamin.
Well, I think that's everything we need to do right now. So we should probably let Benjamin head off. And she looks pointedly at William.
Is Benjamin still glowing?
His eyes have faded in color. After he finishes the missive, he kind of looks over at Trees. He's definitely looks sad at the mention that he can't he can't keep Benjamin. Though I suppose you are right. It would be unkind.
Hang on. What would the rat want to do? Because it can spend a life freely and scavenging for food, or it could be a pet, and maybe it might like that.
Hey, Ratto, do you want to hang out with Lord Moore, maybe? Or do you want to go back to, just ratting about, wild and free, as a rat is supposedly supposed to be?
Can I have food?
Can he have food?
Of course he can have food.
Of course he can.
Wait, can't he speak to animals?
Well, he hears it. The rat doesn't understand him.
Litonk is going to have a look at the hole the three big rats came out of.
Uh-huh.
That'd be a neat trick.
And just, see what exactly they came from.
Again, neat trick.
Do you want perception for that?
Yes.
11.
The best you can discern, kind of, you can't even see. There's a hollow back there, and there are tunnels. You're not sure if they're interconnected or if they serve some other purpose. You have reason to believe that they could reasonably fit the rats of this size.
Does 12 and having dark vision get us any more?
You can see further, and you see them lead out and upwards, so...
Towards the sewers?
Yes.
Oh, we were heading there.
Where?
Where what?
The sewers.
What? The suit? Well, we don't need to go there now, do we?
Don't we?
Well, we killed the giant rat.
Maybe?
Go back to the town.
Go back to the town, but on the way up, I want to pull the thread of the Lord getting a visit from his brother.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we should worry about that more than you two are.
I was going to deal with it later.
This is later, isn't it?
Fair.
Alright, well, he's standing there. He's just kind of, petting the rat. Or
How are you going to raise your brother from the dead?
How would you have known about that? You booked it.
Yep.
Okay. Someone else ask that question, please. That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna let you. You have a way with words.
So you said your brother's coming back. Is he due soon, or?
Oh, yes. He claps his hands and kind of rubs them together. I believe he should be ready to greet you.
I guess we'd better do some credits then. I'm Becky Toothill, and I can be found as Curiosity Epidemic on Twitter, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And if you wanted to see the character sheets for anybody that we're playing as, then they can be found on curiosityepidemic.wordpress.com. James didn't want to record any credits, but you can have these two.
I am Jane Eris Magnet. I can be found on Twitter and YouTube as Maniac Janiac. I can be found on SoundCloud as Jane Eris Magnet, where I do a comedy podcast talking about various bits of interesting media and music and stuff, games we played, and lots of silly skits. That's Queer and Pleasant Strangers that I do with Laura Kate Dale. Also on stonemonkeyradio.blog, where I write reviews. And I can be found every Thursday UK time around 19:30 hours over on twitch.tv/Janiac, where I'll be playing something with the help of my sexy potato squad, my wonderful streaming community.
Hi, this is Nick, the Dungeon Master for the game, and you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and stream at the Nick Flair. And if you'd like to read some media analysis and self-reflections that I'm writing, you can follow my blog at storieswithnick.blog. Thanks for listening.